Hi, Hogs. This is day 3 for our offensive install. We are only installing one run play today, and it's hopefully one that all of you are familiar with. Thanks, man. We are installing Trap, and Trap is typically usually a play that you run even back in middle school. So hopefully you guys have some familiarity with Trap. Now, the rest of the run plays are inside run plays that we're putting in today. They're also known as pull plays. And pull plays are player is where there's always a player pulling. And so that would be trap, power, and counter. The last 3 plays are pull plays, and they're inside runs. So that means we are responsible for our backside gap because they're inside runs. Remember, all of our inside runs we are responsible for our backside gap. Our outside runs, we're responsible for our play side gap. So these last 3 plays, you should think, okay, it's an inside run. I'm responsible for my backside gap. But also in these last 3 plays that are pull plays, you need to know if you're either front side or back side. The front side, you are blocking back and using our gap blocking rule progression that we've been going over since the first day. If you are backside guard, you are always pulling on trap, power, and counter. Backside tackle, you are always wheeling and sealing. Okay. So when you step up to the line of scrimmage, or when the play is called in the huddle, when you step up to the line of scrimmage and you know which play direction or which direction the play is going, you should be saying, okay, am I on the play side or am I on the backside? Because on power, counter, and trap, if you're the backside guard, you always pull. Now, what kind of pull you do differs on what the play is. And then the backside tackle, you were always wheeling and sealing and replacing the guard because the guard is leaving. If you're on the front side, you say, all right, cool. I am doing my gap progression and I am blocking my backside gap because it's an inside run play. Okay. So what we have up here, drawn up here, is trap against a 3-4 defense, the defense that we see, and the H is on the play side. Okay. So I'll go through our rules here. As I said, backside tackle, which would be the right tackle here, you always wheel and seal. And what that means is that you're stepping down hard, replacing the guard. You're going from B gap to C gap because the guard is leaving. You're going to step down hard and block anyone that is in the B gap or someone that might blitz the B gap. If no one threatens the B gap, then you will turn back and block the C gap. So B gap to C gap. It's a wheel. So you wheel down into to replace the guard, and then you seal the backside. Okay, wheel the B, seal the C. That's what we want you to do. Backside guard on trap. This is our rule. You kick out the first person on or outside the guard. The first person on or outside the guard. So if there was a play side 2 technique right here. Oh, here, let's do this here for you guys. So let's take this end, who's on the play side. If he was a play side 2 technique, you would trap him. If he was a 3 technique, you would trap him. If he was a 4 technique, you would trap him. If he was a 5 technique, you would trap him. If he was a 1 technique, you would not trap him because he is not on or outside the guard. Okay. And now, if there was a 3 technique, a 5 technique, and a 7 technique out here, you would trap the first person on or outside the guard. Now, the play side guard and tackle will help you with what technique that guy is. If he's a 4 technique, the guard or the tackle or both will say 4-4-4. So you know. If he was out here, the tackle would say 5-5-5. So you know it's a little wider. If he was a 2 technique, that guard would say 2-2-2 to let you know, okay, this is going to be a really quick trap. So I got to be ready to make contact right away. All right. So they will tell you what technique the defensive lineman is in. All right. What the heck did I do here? Oh, great. Whatever. So that is your rule. Pull across formation and kick out first man on or outside the play side guard. That is your rule. Okay. Now, everyone else, center, guard, tackle, H. Well, I shouldn't say that. Sorry. Center, guard, tackle. You guys are going through your gap progression. But here's the thing, you have to ignore our kick out guy. All right. So let's say if he was a 3 technique right here, tackle. I know your first rule is gap. Okay, gap on over. That's typically your rule. But the 3 technique is the guy that we're kicking out because we're kicking out the first person on or outside the guard. So you pretend he is not there. He is lava. We do not touch the kick out guy. We never, ever, ever touch the kick out guy. So you will go through the rest of your progression. Is there anyone on you? No. Is there anyone over the guard? No. Even if there is, you would leave him alone because that would be the kickout guy and he is lava. Then the last part of your progression is FBI. So all you're going to do is go up to the FBI the best way possible and down block him away from the play. Okay. Now we do have a 4 technique. So it's the same thing. You go through your progression, you check your gap, no one's there. You check on, that's the kick out guy because he's the first person on or outside the guard. So he is lava. You do not touch him. He does not exist. Okay, so your last progression is over. There's no one there. So you're going to work up to FBI. You can either rip inside or go over the top of the end, the path of least resistance. He is lava. Do not touch him. Okay. H, you do the same thing. Okay. Gap. There's no one in your gap. There's no one on you. The end who's over the tackle, he doesn't exist because that's the guy that that's the guy that we're kicking out. So you're going to be working up to FBI. Now here it has you drawn up to the safety. It might be you and the tackle both going to this linebacker and washing him down away from where the play is going. Okay. Center and guard, both of you go through your progression. Center, gap, you check your gap, no one's there. You see someone is on, you will block him because he is not on or outside the guard. Okay, you will base block this nose. Guard, you go through your progression. Gap, no one's there. On, no one's there. Over the nose guard, there's a nose guard over the center. So you're going to push block to FBI. Okay, those are your rules. So gap on over, gap on over, gap on over, gap on over. Pull kick out first guy on or outside the play side guard, wheel and seal. Okay. So that's against the 3-4. Now let's look at it against a different defensive front. Let's look at a 4-3 real quick. Okay, now a 4-3, that means they got 4 down linemen. All right, we are running trap to the left. So let's look at this. So trap to the left, you got to know if you're either play side or backside. If you're the backside tackle, you know you always wheel and seal. If you're on the backside guard, you know you always pull and kick out the first person on or outside the guard. If you are the center, the play side guard, or the play side tackle, you're going through your gap progression, gap on over, but leaving the first guy on or outside the guard. Okay, so you got to identify who that is. So in this case, it is a 3 technique. So guard and tackle will say 3-3-3. So the guard knows he's kicking out a 3 technique. Okay, now let's go through our progression. Our tackle, there's a guy in his gap, but this guy we're kicking out, so he's leaving him alone. Okay, does he have anyone on him? No, this end might be there, might be on his outside shoulder. So what we're going to do, you're just going to give him a little punch, and then you're going to work up to FBI. Okay, because we are going to run the ball inside this defensive end, so there's no way he should get into play unless he slants across your face. If that's the case, then you'll just take him on your tracks up to the linebacker. But if he stays on the outside, then you'll just work up to the FBI. Guard, you check your gap. No one's there. No one's on you. No one is over the center. So you're going to work to FBI. Center, you check your gap. You have a 1 technique in your gap. You block them. Guard, backside guard. pull, kick out, first person on outside the guard, play side guard. That's a 3 technique. You kick him out and you drive him out. So we can run the ball inside. Tackle, you wheel and seal. You check the B gap first. If that linebacker blitzes, you'll take them. If no one comes, then you're going to turn back and block the C gap. H, if you're on the backside of trap, you're going to do the same thing the tackle does. You're just going to mirror the tackle. You're going to wheel and seal. So you're going to step in and block this end. If this end, for whatever reason, slants inside, then you're going to turn back and look for a linebacker coming off the edge. Okay, you're going to block C to D gap. Tackle is going to block B to C gap. You're going to wheel and seal. Okay. So that is against a 4-3. Now let's see if I have it drawn up. We're not going to worry about Joker. Okay, let's just pretend that we're running it to the other side now. Let's pretend that we're running trap to the right here against this forefront because it looks different. All right. So against this forefront here, if we're running it to the right, we got to identify the guy that we're kicking out. So we have a 1 technique and a 5 technique on this side. Well, the first person on or outside the play side guard here is the 5 technique. So the tackle would say 5, 5, 5, and that's the guy we're going to kick out. All right, and he'll go through his progression. No one's in his gap. No one's on him because that's the guy we're kicking out. No one's over the guard, so he's going to work up to FBI. Play side guard. He has a guy in his gap, so he's going to block down. Yeah, he has a guy in his gap, so he's going to block down. Center, you can decide to do one of 2 things. You can either try to put make a base call, and you can actually try to push and base this guy and throw this 1 technique into the center's gap, or the guard can just down block him, and then the center can down block to the backside linebacker. Okay. Backside guard, pull, kick out, first person on or outside the play side guard, which would be the end. Backside tackle, you would wheel and seal. Now, when you wheel and seal and you have a 3 technique, you have to step down hard and log this tackle, this 3 technique, so he cannot get into the play. Okay, you need to step down hard and replace the guard, so this guy cannot pursue and make a tackle in the backfield. He is your B gap threat, so you need to step down and do that. Okay, we do have a call, which is a cat call, which I think I have that in our lineman technique here. Sure enough, I don't. Let me go back to trap. Maybe I have it in trap. Do I have it in here? No, I don't. I'll just talk about it here. We have a cat call, which means center and tackle. So if we get a cat call, the center can actually block back on the 3 and to help the tackle out, take over this 3 technique. If this 3 technique is really good, really fast at getting in the backfield, our center can make a cat call, which means he'll block back on the 3 technique, and the tackle can get there and help out. So we're pretty much doubling the 3 technique with the center and the tackle if this guy's really good. But we would prefer that this backside tackle could take him over by himself, so our center can go to that linebacker. Okay. So that's what it would be on the other side. Okay. Now let's look at it against a 3-3 stack. So a 3-3 stack, there's 3 down linemen, there's 3 stacked linebackers. Okay. So we go through our progression. We're running trap to the left. You got to say, okay, am I on the play side or the backside? Backside tackle always wheels and seals, B gap to C gap. Backside guard always pulls and kicks out first person on or outside the guard. That would be this 4 technique. So he'd kick him out. Center, gap on over. There's a guy on him, so he's going to base block. Play side guard, gap goes through this progression, gap on over. There's a guy over the center, so he's going to push him up to this stack backer above. Okay, the FBI is, if there's a stack backer, that stack backer is considered the FBI. Tackle, gap on over. He has a guy on him, but that's the guy we're kicking out, so he doesn't exist. That guy's lava. So this tackle is going to rip up inside like he would on cap or cop. And he is going to block the FBI, which, like I said, is a stacked backer. The H, gap on over. we're blocking the end, so he has no one to block. So he's also going to go to FBI here. And we're going to double team this linebacker with the tackle and the H. Okay. And there we have it across the board, and we're going to run the ball tight inside in the A gap here. Let's go to some film of trap. Okay, this is our first game from last year. So let's see how we do. So we're running trap to the left here. So we should be kicking out the 4 technique. So it should be 4-4-4. So this tackle should be ripping up to the stack backer here. We should have a push call. We should have a base call. We pull, kick out the 4 technique, and we should have a wheel and seal on the backside. So this tackle has a gap in his threat in his B gap. So he should be stepping down hard to replace the guard and getting himself in between this guy and where the play is going. Okay, so let's watch the wheel and seal on the backside first. He steps down hard, but he doesn't get his head across. You need to try to log this guy. And also, you cannot get blown back into the backfield like he does, because he can blow the play up. All right, let's watch the guard. The guard pulls. He's into the line of scrimmage. Okay, he attacks the wrong side. He needs to be on the upfield hip to kick that guy out, which I talk about in our kick out video, but he's pulling and kicking out. Now, we have a double team here, a base and a push, and they are working to FBI. But this FBI, their backer that they're working to steps up on the line of scrimmage. So now this center does have someone in his gap. So the center's going to block down, and the guard's going to block down on this guy. Because if this linebacker steps up, we're assuming that that nose guard is going to slant the other way. Okay, which he does. So we have 2 down blocks, which both look really good. Their head is on the play side number, hand is on the hip. Our center could be down a little bit lower. Okay, but they're driving them away from the play. This looks really, really good here. And then our tackle, notice how he's flat. He rips up. He tries not to touch the 4 technique. That guy's lava. So he rips up. He gets to the stack backer, and he's going to block him and take him where he wants to go. Let's look at the H. Same thing. H steps up, make sure that this guy doesn't cross his face, and he's going, and we're double teaming that backer there. Okay. So we're watch the play, and we're trying to run the ball in the inside. This A gap, you see how it opens up. We want to keep it nice and tight, but we have to get our kick out block done the right way. Okay, let's watch it from this view here. So we'd probably get a pretty good view. Okay, backside wheel and seal, pull kick, down, down, up to the stack backer. Okay, and we're going to run the ball right in that little A gap there. But as you see, we're we didn't get into the line of scrimmage enough. We're not blocking on the correct side. So that guy gets his hand in and almost makes a tackle. Okay, we'll watch it here. Okay, we're running trap to the left. So trap to the left, so you got to know I'm either play side or backside. So backside, remember wheel and seal. So this tackle is going to see if this linebacker is going to blitz. If he does, then he'll take him. If not, then he's going to come back and block the C gap. Backside guard, pull, kick out first person on or outside the guard. We should have a 3-3-3 call here, because that's a 3 technique right here. That's the first person on or outside the guard. So he's going to pull and kick that guy out. Center, he's going to go through his progression, gap on over. There's a guy in his gap. He's going to down block him. Guard goes through his progression, gap on over. There's someone on him, but that's the guy we're kicking out, so he leaves him alone. He's lava. He's going to rip up to FBI, which should be the stack backer here. He might go all the way back. Okay, we'll see what happens. This tackle, the reason why he might go back, because this tackle is going to be going to number 5 right here. Okay, we'll see what happens. Because the tackle goes through his progression. There's a guy in his gap, but that's the guy we're kicking out, so he's just going to go up to that backer there. Okay, so there, should be there, pull, kick out, wheel and seal. H, same thing, gap on over. He's got a guy on him, so we should be blocking this guy and trying to seal him off from where we're trying to run the ball. Okay, so let's see what happens. Let's go backside to front side. So let's watch the wheel and seal on the backside. He steps down hard to replace the guard. This is great. He should be trying to get his butt to the butt of the center. We're trying to create this wall here. So he sees that the linebacker doesn't blitz, so he looks back to the C gap. Okay, and look how he gets back to this wall here. Notice how we're trying to create a wall on the backside. Okay, guard pulls. This is an excellent kick out block here. So you see guard pulls, he's tight, his head is down on the hip, he has a nice flat back. Okay, his head is on the inside. This right here is beautiful. If you want to know what a trap block should look like, it should look just like this right here. This is how you get inside on this trap block. This is excellent. Now he just needs to keep it, okay? But where his position is right here, that's exactly how it should look. He just needs to keep that and wedge that guy out. Okay, because this guy does end up fighting over the top, which is not good. And he makes the tackle. But I just want you to see that position. Okay. That's where you need to be when you kick someone out down on the hip. Okay. Center, he blocks back. He's trying to drive him away from where the play is going. Guard, you'll see guard rip up and go to FBI. Okay, that's an excellent job. He sees that that guy runs way outside, so he's like, that guy's not going to make the play. So he looks for the next FBI. Okay, tackle, same thing. Tackle, this guy's lava, not going to touch him. So he's going to go to FBI. This H is also going to FBI, but this H honestly could have done his progression and just blocked this guy. And we should be running the ball right there. But this guy fights back over the top, so we kind of dance in the hole a little bit. Okay. Watch it again. Okay, so here it looks like we have two techniques. This guard must have thought he was a 2-eye or a 1 technique, so they made a 5-5-5 call. That's what it should be. So they should have said 5-5-5. So we're running trap to the left again. So we got wheel seal, pull, kick out, the 5 technique. He's got a guy in his gap, so he's going to block down. He's going to block, do a base block, or sorry, he's going to do a down block because he must think that guy's in his gap. He's going to go through his progression, gap on over, no one's there, so he's going to go to FBI. Here, gap on over. This H should not touch this guy because this is technically the first person on or outside the guard. So he should be going down just like this, and we should be kicking out the 5 technique. Okay. The H should not be doing this. The H should be going down because we should be kicking this guy out. Okay. So this play gets a little messed up. But I hope you guys see kind of the progression that and the rules that I'm trying to talk about there. So that's trap. That's the play that we were putting in today. What's nice though is that we have all of the techniques for that. There's no new techniques that we're adding. I've already talked about the kickout block. We'll practice that a little bit more. We've already been practicing the base block, the push block, the down block. So we really don't have any more techniques to put in. We still have to do a skip pull, which is not a big deal. But we pretty much all have our big technique plays in. It's just big techniques in. We just need to practice them and know when to apply them. But that is our trap play that we'll be putting in tomorrow.